Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a beautiful day, a beautiful Wednesday. Gosh, it's flying, right? It is flying. I'm so glad to be here with you today, and I cannot wait to get on with Pearl so that we can do the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine Energy Update. Hello to everyone joining us here. Oh, and there she is. I'm the one who's late today a little bit. Hello, dear. How are we today?
I'm good. I pulled 3 cards while we were waiting. Do you want to see what the energy of the connection is today? Because I think we should start with this.
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
First of all, the song that was just playing was "I Want to Be Ready," the Nat King Cole. That's like I want to be. It's like a song about entering into the kingdom of heaven, basically. And the card that popped out
Oh,
was this Judgment card, and it is from the Zombie Tarot. So I was like, there's about to be like a mind blowing thing that's breaking through this Four of Swords, this no contact, complete silence, and then what comes out after that? The Four of Wands. And it's like
what?
in this storyline of the Zombie Tarot, the the writing of everything that was wrong. And then the bottom of the deck was the Three of Pentacles, like grounding into 3D, but all the hard work that has to be done now to recover, to like try to get these two parts of self to work together now after all that has ensued, like after this big, you know yeah. So that's the just to bring you up to speed, that's where we were at before you entered the room. So
Lovely.
also Zombie Tarot for is it's just such a great deck.
Which one is that?
This is the Zombie Tarot.
Oh, I saw you reading
You
from
see
that
like how there's
thing. I saw that. It's very
yes.
for October.
Yes, I got it I've had this for a year somehow because I got it last year to read during spooky season, and I can't believe I've had it that long, but it's an incredible deck. I love it.
Very cool.
How are you?
I'm good. I've been good. It's been weird, but good, weird.
Mm-hmm.
I am kind of just like in recovery mode right now because like I feel like this retrograde, I've been seeing it with a lot of feedback from everyone. Like just so I feel like this retrograde is such a doozy for so many people. But just as quickly, I almost feel like this retrograde is departing faster than any retrograde I've ever experienced. Like it was almost like a launching pad from like nothing moving, nothing happening to like now everything. It's almost like every single thing that was delayed during the retrograde is now just shooting back in like a very different direction than anyone anticipated anything would go prior to the retrograde happening, you know, which is why I like retrograde.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, wow, didn't see that
Yeah,
coming.
they're always fun.
Mm-hmm. So
Totally.
look lovely.
Totally.
So hello everyone joining. So I'm feeling like I could do masculine this week. I feel like last week I was like, I don't want
You'll take
anything
him back
to do
now.
with
You can
masculine.
have him.
This week I'm feeling better.
Take him
So
back.
all right, so I can definitely I'm up for taking masculine this week and you'll do feminine.
Yes,
Cool.
absolutely.
And then just bearing in mind for anyone who's joining us, Pearl and I will both be taking one of the energies to read for, and we'll be going back and forth to kind of communicate what we're seeing, both from the head and the heart space, bearing in mind that these are not based on gender, but what you feel most drawn to or what your partner is most drawn to. So let us begin. What am I going to use for the headspace of masculine? We're going to use the pulp tarot. I love the pulp tarot to
Okay, good choice.
Okay. So, what is going on
Um,
with masculine headspace? All right, let's check it out. So, can I get a card to tell us what's going on with the masculine headspace place this week, please? All right. Can I see it? Please, 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 please. All right. What do we have for the masculine headspace right now? Masculine headspace. We have. Oh, ah, very intriguing. So first of all, the cards didn't want to come out. So I'm feeling and it really this makes a lot of sense. I'm feeling like masculine, right? And especially the card that finally did come out. So you might recall, like, I feel like masculine's been in this weird energy. And
yes.
masculine um just again doesn't want to reveal the cards that's going on. So masculine is like thinking about a lot of stuff right now that they don't want to reveal to feminine. But there's one thing, and there's one thing only that masculine is concentrating on this week. Ace of Swords transverse.
Oh, that's the card that just
Ace
came out in the reading
of,
I just did for the
are,
collective.
are you kidding me?
No, I
Ace
just did a
of
reading right before this, and the two cards that came out were the Ace of Swords and then the Five of Cups because he was having to disappoint someone. There was some like he was basically telling other options, like he was choosing the divine feminine, so he was disappointing. That's like literally what just came out right before this.
mm-hmm. So what I'm really seeing here is masculine is in a place right now, which is interesting. Masculine is like literally trying to be Switzerland right now. Like I feel like for some reason, particularly due to the retrograde, there was this place, right? There was this place that masculine was operating in where they were trying to win, they were trying to succeed. And now I feel like masculine has suddenly hit this place where they realize there's no winning here. Like there's not like, oh no, it's almost like masculine feels absolutely unsure and confused and has no idea how to move forward. So they're just not thinking about it because it's almost like the whole situation with feminine right now is just at a place where they're at a complete loss. And in light and this is what's crazy, in light of not knowing, it's almost I almost want to say it almost feels like they feel like pinned against a wall, and they know that, like, it's like they're like, oh, I can't go forward, I can't like like go after feminine because that's not working. They can't bring themselves to apologize for anything. So in light of that, the only thing they can think to do is like, I'm just going to not do anything, not do anything. And that is kind of where they're holding right now. Really odd. This is the weird energy for masculine continues. There is this feeling of it's almost like it's, you know what it feels like? It feels like a timeout. It feels like masculine is asking for a timeout. Okay. What else is going on in the masculine heads? Why does masculine want this timeout right now? Again, cards don't want to come out. Masculine's hiding something from feminine. What else is happening right now? Two cards clarifying the timeout. Okay. All right. So what I'm seeing here, masculine headspace right now. Why is masculine trying to call for a timeout? Because right now, masculine recognizes that nothing is going the way he wants it to in his love life in any capacity. Every scenario right now working around masculine is just saying to him, my connection with feminine right now is so damaged and messed up. Okay. And as a result, there is something in their headspace that's saying to them, I need to put on a front and show everyone that that's not happening. I need to be, I need to come across, and this is very interesting that this is in the headspace, not the heart space. Masculine is basically saying, my love life right now is an absolute disaster on every front, but I need to hide that right now. And I need to look like the person that has it all together. Like I need to step in the limelight right now and just, be my best self. And I'm just literally going to pretend that my connection with feminine is not where it is. That they're like, it's almost like I'm almost getting this sense literally like this is like there's like a forest fire. This is like a forest fire behind masculine, and masculine is just trying to walk out of the forest fire being like, what? No, no, no. I just got changed. No, I don't know. No, I don't know what's behind that door. No, no, everything's fine. And this is and I need to point out, I find that this Ace of Cups is a very interesting Ace of Cups because typically what we see with Ace of Cups energy, I mean, King of Cups, apologies, with King of Cups energy is a masculine that can hold two cups, that's bearing that weight. This King of Cups is holding an empty cup, and they're holding it nonchalantly, and they're almost trying to like hide the fact that the cup is empty. So there's a lot in this King of Cups that's saying like much of a show of trying to say almost like look like a King of Cups and be like, no, 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 I've got it. Oh yeah, I've got emotionally cool. I can handle these things. But really they are kind of hiding the fact that there is this emptiness right now that they're masquerading. And it is because the connection with feminine is extremely damaged. They're just not thinking about it, at least this week. What other clarification do we have on masculine? This is it. This is so typical of masculine energy. What's masculine going to do about that issue with the lovers? What's masculine going to do? Nothing in the headspace this week because masculine is just going entirely into themselves as instead of dealing with the connection. Because we see here them they're hiding the fact that the lovers is so damaged by trying to
Mhm.
show this like face to the world that everything is calm, cool, and collective. Nothing is flapping them. They're good. And they're trying to focus on their coin with the King of Pentacles. No problems for masculine. Again, we see this over and over with the masculine energy stating if if I don't think about the fact that I'm not in partnership with feminine, and that it's a mess, and a lot of it might be because of the combative nature of that sword that I brought to it in the first place, then I have no problems, right? Masculine is going super inwards right now and thinking entirely about themselves and just really, it's sad to say, it's just like kind of turning their back right now on connection because connection is not working well for them right now and they don't know how to fix it. So they're just like it's like the equivalent of a little kid like stowing the whole thing in a closet and just going on about their business.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not dating, are you? Like, I'm not working. I'm not trying to get out there and be in any. Like, that tracks for my masculine energy where I'm like, yeah, well, I guess I'll just make money then because I don't really have any reason to pursue relationship or emotion. And how can my creativity really, like, if I pursue my creativity, I can't survive. So I guess I just have to focus on doing mundane practical things in order to survive physically because fuck my emotions. My emotions don't pay me anything and I can't get anything from my emotions. So
I
that
mean,
tracks for me as a masculine energy so much.
I
Like
mean, again,
my energy within.
I need to stress, like, typically I would be okay with a lot of the things I see here because I see that masculine is kind of moving into a direction that is trying to be more stable. Like everything we're seeing with this masculine here is talking about the de-escalation point of their own path and trying to get back on path. The concern
Yeah.
though is that like they're not doing this because they desire to do it. They're doing it in spite of the connection with feminine being so messed up, and that's what my concern with is, because that's where we start to say, like, what are your motivations behind this? Because there's one thing if someone's like, I'm on like this like higher path and I'm trying to like, I'm trying to repair things, but we see here that it's like it's not an act of repairing here. It's just kind of turning, not doing anything, right? So it's very interesting. What are we seeing on the feminine side for the headspace?
Let's take a look. Not surprising. So, in what I would consider my past placement, we have the Four of Pentacles energy. And I'm using the Cosmic Tarot,
Okay.
which I like this Four of Pentacles a lot because it's showing what looks like a doctor giving an opinion to someone. And the Four of Pentacles, when it is about, like, it can be about letting go, holding on to things, financial foundations. But a lot of times for me, it will be about external validation and outside opinion and seeking, like, seeking to have your beliefs affirmed by someone else in order for you to feel comfortable holding on to them. And this can happen in so many ways in our lives: politics, religion, and the thoughts we have about ourselves and others. So we will check and see if what we're feeling is acceptable to others. Hang on a second. Come here. Do you need something? Lay down. Can you lay down? You okay? She's on her cycle, so we're being very poor Bowie. Like, she needs extra attention right now. So um but this is like constantly checking to see if what we're thinking is appearing before us, like, and getting that validation. So this can be like seeing tarot card readings that are validating exactly what you're thinking, but you're also thinking the same thing over and over again, and you're seeing every instance of where that is true in everything that you're looking at. So I feel like the divine feminine has been working on being, holding on to things that she feels she can't be unapologetic about because she has to, because she cares about what other people think about her. So she's holding on to a relationship that people would think is not a good idea. Or if she's holding on to some limiting belief about her finances or her wealth or her lack of that or whatever it is, it's been that struggle that has been most prevalent in her mind. Like, how do I let go of this? How do I stop caring what other people think? How do I have more of a solid foundation within myself? And when will I stop seeking an outside opinion? That's been a big part of Divine Feminine's life right now. In the current energy, we see this very frustrating card at this point because it is just, I feel like it has never left the readings for an entire year of, oh, I can just see it there over the horizon if I just have faith that it will arrive. And there it is, just hovering there on the horizon. And I've been waiting and I've been patient about it too. So there is this feeling of frustration that this thing that you were holding on to, that you want to keep seeing happen, the stability, the consistency, whatever it is, it's like, oh, it's just there. It's just almost just there. It's like, right, I can see it. And because you can see it, you can't let go of it. And it's really really frustrating. And I think what's happening a lot is there is a fixation on what comes between. So third party is associated with this card. So a behavior, what is blocking me? What is standing between me and the thing that I originally asked for? What is the thing that is holding the ship out on the sea and not bringing it to me? That's what we're currently trying to understand. And we're doing this in a rather patient way that is about our faith in ourselves, to come into alignment with what we've already created. You know, people talk about manifesting all the time. They try to manifest past people. That person already exists. So it's not about manifestation, it's alignment, which means, do you want to come into alignment with a person that doesn't seem to be very in alignment? Like a person who's like, I don't know what to do. So I'll just like, accidentally fall into this person's privates later. Like, whoops. Like, is that the kind of energy that you want to be in? Because if you want to be in alignment with the person who's doing that, you have to get into alignment with them. And I'm not going to do the upper level, lower level thing because I think it's just, I don't think that's something we need to perpetuate, that people are higher up on the scale or higher vibrating, or what is even vibrating when we're talking about that. Like, let's just be real and say, like, do you want to be in a place where you're still in your addiction, you're still able to drink and party, you're still able to go be like on a yacht somewhere sipping champagne with people and not really connecting deeply with who you're with? Like, if that's where you want to be, then go into that energy, and that's where your person will be waiting for you, because you can see them clearly in that energy, right? So you already created that individual. There they are, and that's what they're like. And either you shift your mindset about them and come into alignment with a new version, or you look around and see who's in alignment with you right now, because there are people right now. That's what this is about. There's more than one ship. Do you ever see, nobody says there's my ship coming in? It's my ships, okay? Like Captain Kirk, multiples. Then where we end up is the Ten of Wands. So we can finally put down the burden we've been carrying, because it takes a lot of energy to hold on to something. This is a full-time job. Like, I have to hold on to people's opinions about me. I have to hold on about my opinions about myself, my ideas, my limiting beliefs. I have to hold on to everything. Plus this relationship I really want, that the other person seems to really want but doesn't seem to do anything about. Just like, there has to be a point when we put this down and we stop thinking that everything is just beyond the river bend. Like, at some point you got to walk to the riverbend, and now you're there and it's not there. What is there, another bend in the river? Like, that sounds like a cult, right? That you can never win that race. There's no ending there. That's the future potential place. The place where everything is just going to be better, just when this is like this, and when that is like that, and when this is like this, and when that is like that. And that's never going anywhere. So you have to like put it down.
Beautifully said. Beautiful. Well, let's see what's going on with the masculine heart space, right? Because we've got, there's
I'm
very
scared now.
there's a lot. I have a feeling I have a feeling the heart space is going to be clarified a lot by, I mean, the head space is going to get clarified a lot by the heart space right now, because I feel like there's a lot of room for clarification. Right? Because it does
Mhm.
capture, I mean, like, there's clearly some stuff going on here under the surface for masculine. So can I get clarification on the heart space of masculine, please? Clarification, please, 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 please. Whoop, there it is. Oh, okay, that makes so much sense. Okay, so why is masculine like feeling so uncertain with how to go forward? They want to do something. Masculine doesn't want to stay here. Ace of Swords is not a card that likes to stay transverse. There's a lot of this, there's an understanding here that this sword is either a sword of victory or a sign, a sword of surrender, right? Masculine is holding the sword now in this transverse position. Why is masculine holding the sword? Because masculine is in grief. Masculine is grieving and is very heavily in a Five of Cups energy. Masculine believes that there has been some huge loss, and feminine is at the center of that loss. And it's wounded him. And he is obsessing over this loss. And I think it's really intriguing because this Five of Cups is very different than a typical Five of Cups you see. Because typically with a Five of Cups, you will see the cups, the two cups that are remaining are beside the individual. So it's almost like a reminder to you that, you know, yes, there's been a loss, but if this person turns around, there's much to be gained. This is not that card. We are seeing this Five of Cups from the perspective of someone gazing on someone who has lost everything. This person is not holding the cups. The gazer is holding the cups. So masculine right now is watching feminine. He's watching feminine to see how she reacts from this place of him not doing anything. Masculine is,
I just I I have the cards. So I read before TikTok so that if people wanted to see me live, it would be in their FYP that we were live. So I just did a spontaneous reading, and I told you
yeah.
the first two cards were the Ace of Swords and the Five of Cups. And that is what you are holding in your first two placement.
And what's really,
That is incredible. How incredible is that? And look at this one. Look at how, because the way this came out when I read it was that there was some very upsetting news that was going to be disappointing to this feminine, almost hysterical kind of an energy. Like not and for me, the card that came after clarified that it was all the decisions, like all the other options that he had. That's where that energy came from. So I think it's so interesting that you pulled that Five of Cups again.
yeah. And I'm not big on this feeling or this energy that I'm getting from this. I'm really not. I don't dig it. And I will say I try to stay extremely neutral when it comes to these energies. But the thing I don't like about this particular energetic feeling is one that the message I'm getting from this Ace of Swords and this Five of Cups is almost a masculine message that says, I'm not doing anything because I like to see feminine struggle over me. I like
I
there's
feel like that would be the shadow side. I
it,
don't feel like every single masculine energy would resonate with
I
that.
think that there is something very much right now, which again is like a strange message to get right now that is um, not great, which is not, really something that is something like, I like to see if you care about me by seeing how much you struggle if I don't do anything. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But that's what I'm seeing here, because again, this is someone who's holding the cups, and it's almost like he's like, like they know what feminine needs right now. There's an understanding here. They're just not. There's like a lot of withholding here on this, specifically because they're just watching, and they're watching to see
That makes sense.
let's see how much you care about me. Let's see what you do now. Like Mm, 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 mm,
Like a toddler that throws a tantrum to see if mommy still loves me.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Go marry your mommy then. Go marry your mommy.
Ugh. I don't like that energy. I don't like that. Masculines, what's going on, man? What is this energy? I don't like this energy. Come on. I don't have to read like this. Okay. We're moving on to the next one to clarity on the lover's reverse with the King of Cups that's empty. All right. Oh my God. Okay. Why is masculine going this way? Like there's like this dark side energy. Why is masculine going this way? Why is masculine why is masculine kind of covering things up right now and acting like nothing's wrong and acting almost like clueless? Like clueless, like I don't know what you're talking about kind of thing. When everyone's like, "What about that forest fire?" It's like right behind. I don't know what forest fire? Because masculine, there is some attempt right now. This is masculine's attempt at getting control of a situation that they feel they have lost control of. This is their move. That is the move of masculine right now. They've just decided, they're like, feminine's out of it's really interesting is almost like I'm getting the channeled message. Feminine is out of control, is what masculine is trying to tell himself is the case. But what it actually is, because here we see masculine. The chariot on this is the dragon, which is really it's masculine saying to himself, he doesn't want to admit this in the heart space. Feminine is out of my control. Feminine is out of my control. And masculine now has decided that the only way forward is one where they are going to try to regain control by acting like they don't care, by shutting off all of their feelings. They're like, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to pretend I don't care. And I'm going to watch her struggle because I am not going to do a darn thing. And I'm going to act like everything is just dandy, that I don't even know what she's talking about. What are you talking about? This is exactly what we're seeing here. This is just one more. This is a new. And again, we don't like this. We don't like this. Guys, if you're connecting to this, again, if you're masculine, like this is becoming a conversation of control instead of collaboration. This is looking more and more like a power struggle than a partnership. I don't know what happened with the collective. I don't know what we're going through, but like this is a weird turn for this energy. It's a weird turn. All right, we got one more card left for the masculine
Let's
heart.
see.
One more card. Can we please see one more card for the masculine heart space, please? Oh, whoa, oh, okay. This is yeah. Wow. Oh, wow. Okay. So masculine heart space, two cards coming up at the end, clarifying this King of Pentacles. It says like I'm in charge. I'm in charge. This is my house. I'm in charge. Like look at this guy. He's like I'm in charge. This is my house. Masculine's aside in his heart space. He's like I'm not going to say anything. Again, more this with the Hierophant, which is I masculine is upset because he feels that there's some deep need on this manifestation of masculine to feel like they are listened to almost like a teacher. Like there is like it's almost like confirmation where I'm like, is this a power struggle? And then the Hierophant comes up reversed, which says, you bet it is a power struggle right now between me and feminine. Feminine is not listening to what I am telling her I want her to do. Right. And so this is where we find masculine. He's like feminine. Masculine is feeling wounded because he feels like feminine is not listening to him, but also that this isn't really a listening thing. Like this isn't a two-way communication because the Hierophant doesn't communicate equally. The Hierophant tells you what to do and then you do it because they're the one in charge. So again, we're getting further clarification, which is like, I'm hurt. Masculine's hurt because feminine's not doing what he tells her to do. He's not following his orders. He's not following his teachings. And here's the hidden card that came up with it, which popped up. Six of Cups reversed. There is a deeper wound that's happening here, that's happening even connected. The thing is, there's something that's so triggering right now to masculine because it doesn't even have to do with what's happening between him and feminine. It has to do with a much older, like, soul contract, past life, childhood wound where masculine, there was some masculine at some point in masculine's journey, masculine felt like feminine did not listen to him or somebody was not listening to him. And there is something right now where masculine feels like, no, feminine must do what I say. Because if not, then I am still that little child where nobody listened to me. So there's something really deeply getting triggered on masculine side. They just don't want to admit it, which is where this is okay. This is the softness. This is clarifying all of these control issues. Again, this is not
That
what's
makes sense.
really upsetting right now is this is not even something that masculine may be aware that he's doing, but that's why it's happening. Because there's some deep, deep triggering soul stuff happening, and masculine is trying to work his way through it without acknowledging that that is the case. Oh,
Yeah.
it's a lesson. It's a pad. It's a lesson. Ooh, okay. All right. What you got there? Space for feminine.
Well, I can't stop pulling. Also, I forgot to say too, there is the King of Pentacles from that other masculine reading I did today as well, and it has the Three of Pentacles on it, and the Three of Pentacles kept coming out, and you kept talking about collaboration, and I think that's interesting.
Very.
That card in that last reading I did just before this one, and then another card from that reading clarifying this Four of Pentacles, and there it was in the masculine reading too, the Seven of Cups that I did before. So it's just persistent cards lately. So what is divine feminine in her headspace stuck on? It's this. There's this lack of clarity because there's been so much fantasizing on divine feminine's part. And it's not even her fault because she's been strongly encouraged to do this since she was a girl. And it's so confusing now because everything that you were led to believe, led to imagine, it 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 doesn't really apply, does it? It's like these things are actually much more complicated, and there's a lot of gray areas, and there's a lot of black and white thinking, and not always a clear answer or clear way of looking at things. And so I do think that in some cases, this may be an indication that divine feminine has been seeking help. So there could be for people in general, not just when we're not thinking about gender. So just your person or yourself has maybe decided to seek out some help to get clarity from somebody who's qualified to help them do so. And going to, like, I'm hearing like emotional counseling, because there is this emotional aspect, and seeing some kind of a practitioner. But there has been some need to do this, and if you haven't done this, there might be a need to do it. There might be some help that you could receive in regards to how you've been thinking. Like recently I've started to come to terms with, like, oh, I've had like executive functioning disorder my whole life. Like that's why I seemed lazy. Like, and I didn't understand what the, like, that's what is wrong. There's been a lot of opportunity now that we're exposed to people with symptoms and we can talk to each other and get each other's opinions and hear ideas. And we start to realize the way that we've been thinking is maybe more normal and less abnormal than it really has been presented to us, but also an indication that it has affected all of the decisions and choices we made and our ability to be able to establish solid foundations. Maladaptive daydreaming, that's a concept that's been coming up lately. And this idea that we, have this fantasy world we live in, and reality is very harsh in comparison. And so we just trip out like the masculine is doing, like, oh, there's nothing wrong here. What forest fire? Like this, it's all going to be better. We're going to just move into a paradise soon. So that's what we've been dealing with in the past placement, getting clarity, trying to get a solid foundation, trying to stand on solid ground. The feeling of future potential. And the Page of Coins. This, like, getting an offer, getting a material gesture, getting an offer, getting a gesture. We're going to get it. It's going to be there. It's going to happen. We're going to see it. It's going to happen. It's just there. I can see it. I'm almost seeing it. It's almost there. But it's never significant enough to keep us interested for very long. And it starts that cycle that the masculine is showing us he's entering into, where, to prove love, you have to show distress. But you don't have to. You can step out of that cycle. You just have to do it one small step at a time. Like, you don't have to keep playing. And I think that, a lot of times we see the Page of Coins energy, and it's a little child with looks like a ball. The pentacle takes on the energy of play. And it's like, when you were little, you pretended to do things until you could do them. And that's what you do now as an adult. And you just do it one little bit at a time. And stop engaging the same way over and over, which brings us to this final energy of the Ten of Wands. And I can't even freaking believe it, because the Ten of Wands also came out from the Lover's Back Tarot. And so did the Empress card. And it's fucking Cleopatra who ruled this bitch Caesar. So I just think this is so interesting, because while we were chafing at hearing this energy of the masculine trying to control us and thinking about our person, we also have to step back and realize that we are also trying to exert control in order to feel safe, because that's all that this is about. This dynamic is about healing anxious, avoidant attachment styles so that we can be secure. That's all it's about. That is all it's about. It's disappointing, because as girls we were like, no, there's a fairy tale prince and he's gonna, kiss us and wake us up from our deep slumber, and then we're gonna be happy forever. And then there's like real stories like Cleopatra and Caesar. Go read that one. It doesn't end so well. Like, there's reality, there's fantasy, and there's carrying this burden of trying to avoid our power, because we've been taught that our power was bad and wrong, and that we should not have it, that we should sublimate, that we should do what this patriarchy wants us to do. Our bodies even don't belong to us in varying degrees of severity throughout history. So we carry the burden of this dynamic because we've been taught that we really can't have our own power. And it's okay. And there's nothing to be ashamed of in having done that. But the outcome is no longer carrying that burden anymore and just stepping into your power. And this is the kind of voice that says, in order to attract a secure attachment, I myself must be secure. So whatever that feeling means to you, you have to create that now. Secure in your self-concept, secure in your finances, secure in your relationships, in your ability to communicate, If you are acting insecure, then you are in alignment with the person in your life who is acting insecure. So that's why you are still attracted to them. The second you feel secure, they are going to seem gross to you. You know how I know that's true? Pick somebody. Pick somebody that you used to be like, oh my God, I need this person. And now the thought of them, like, what? You are so much more secure than you were when that person was like with the chariot energy over you. And you're like, oh my God, what can I do for you? And now you're like, if that person came into my house, I would allow my dog to attack and I would laugh. Oh, you shouldn't have come across my boundary, bitch. Like, that's where you're at with that person, which means what? Your security has improved since the time that you were into someone like that. You would never be into someone like that anymore. And it will happen with this bitch too. It will happen with any bitch who's not in alignment with your Empress self. So that's why this is a good thing. Put down the burden of having this power
Yeah.
by just stepping into it and delegating.
That's so powerful too, especially when you consider the fact that last week when I read for feminine, the two cards that were both in the bottom of the deck energy was the Empress, right? And
Yep.
now she's moving
Yep.
space. It's like that was the thing that feminine didn't want to acknowledge was happening last week. And this way, like last week, she's like, this is getting me off my spiritual course. This is knocking me off my spiritual center. And now feminine's finally like, this is knocking me off my spiritual center. It's like she wanted to accept it last week, and this week she's like, "Oh, fine, fine." But I think it also speaks to the counterpart energy because that doesn't, again, like you're right. There's control and power there with the Empress, and the fact that that Empress is Cleopatra with Caesar standing behind her. It's counterpart energy,
Yeah.
not finding someone who's trying to
Yeah.
control Cleopatra. Cleopatra wants someone who's going to rule with Clea goddamn Patra. It's not about
Yeah. Yeah.
control. It is about control, but it's not about control of each other. It's about counterpart energy so you can control everything else in your lives together. That
Yes.
that is the disruption point we're seeing between these two. They're both obsessed with this is the mirroring. Masculine and feminine are obsessed with control right now.
Yes.
Except in feminine,
Yes.
out being like, I need a counterpart so we can control everything. And master, masculine is going, I need you so I can control you. Like, like
Yeah.
it's not okay. I'm gonna do bottom of the deck now. I can't right now with this because there is a mirroring happening. It's just a very corrupted mirror. Ugh. Bottom of the deck, headspace for masculine. Here it is again. Five of Cups in reverse.
Dang.
A very interesting thing, though, too, because again, we've got a feminine here. Masculine. This is what's happening. It's in the heart space, but it's also bottom of the deck of the headspace of masculine. Masculine does realize that what he's doing here is messed up.
Yeah.
Wow, that's messed up. This is twisty. This is twisty energy. Masculine is almost looking at himself being like, I'm not proud that I have to do this either. I need to do it. My heart needs it. I need to watch you suffer for a bit. Because the thing that scares masculine in his headspace is, what if it looks like she's not suffering? What if I do all this and she's perfectly fine? Like, that's why masculine, because masculine thinks that if feminine looks like she's not suffering, then that's going to be masculine's confirmation of what his fears are, which is that feminine is turning away from him and looking at other options. This is where that control
Mm-hmm.
comes. This is a masculine, which seems so counterintuitive here, because masculines have to understand that if you turn away, this is masculine turning away from feminine and being like, you chase me now. And feminine is not
Bitch,
really
and Femi's like, bitch, I'm tired. I'm gonna take a break. I'm sitting
feminine.
on the
I don't see
sidelines.
this. I
I'm
don't see
gonna drink some
this scenario
Gatorade.
based on what we saw last week, which is really feminine has been saying to masculine. Last week we saw feminine saying, I'm leaving. Are you coming with me or not? I'm leaving this. Whatever this is has been too painful. You can come with me. You just need to stop fighting me. And instead, what masculine's doing now is just ignoring her. He's like, go ahead, leave. But if you leave, and he's not even talking to her. He's just like, he's not doing anything. He's giving her nothing to work with. Now he's like, okay, if she loves me, she'll just sit there and pine for me. She'll just sit there and she'll mourn me and I'll get to watch how sad she is. But I don't see that.
And I'm just noting when I've done this myself with my person, where I've been the person that's in that energy, where I've been like, fine, then you fucking suffer. Then you're not gonna see me at all. Fuck you.
This is like really, this is like, I am literally I have this like deep vision in my head of my son. He still does this now and then, where he gets upset and he just looks at me and goes, I'm never going to love you ever again. I'm going to leave you all alone. And you're like, and I just look at him, I'm like, I'm not going to do that to you because that's awful. Why would you say that? And then he always
Oh
crumbles.
my god, that's intense.
I know he's such a little Libra when he says stuff like that. He'll like
Yeah,
say
that's intense,
the
Libra
most
energy.
wounded. He'll just look at me like I do not exist and goes, I will never love you ever again. And I'm like, you're 5. And I feel like he's channeling like dark masculine I'm like, what? How do you even know how to do that? Like, and I just like, I'll love you forever. And
Because he's feared it.
that's when he crumbles. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's also not what he wants me to do. He wants feminine to be like,
No.
and that's what this masculine's doing. He's like, I'm never going to talk to you ever again. And she's like, okay.
That's exactly the reaction.
Why are you
Like,
like this? You're
all
acting
right, well, and that would be different how.
like, why aren't you talking to me about what is this? Why aren't you talking to me about
Do
what?
you understand?
There's a fire behind you. There's a fire behind you. What are you doing? Why are you wearing a suit? Why don't you go take care of that fire? Anyway, bottom of the deck, heart space, masculine. 7 of Cups reverse.
Are you fucking serious? I
This
cannot.
this is wild, right?
And it's in reverse for you.
Masculine is telling himself, it's fine. I got options. I got so many options. I don't need to worry about this. I've got look at me. Look how good I look in a suit. Look at how secure I am, right? I don't need to worry. I don't need to worry about her. I'm going to just watch her struggle. I don't do anything because I need to have control. I'm going to go show everyone how in control I am because she's not listening to me. She's not listening to me. And that's very triggering. And that brings up a lot of things I don't want to talk about. But you know what masculine doesn't want to talk about in his heart space? This is his manifestation. This is what he wants. He doesn't want to admit it. He doesn't want to admit it to feminine. He doesn't want to admit it to himself. This is the manifestation that he wants. He doesn't want to look for someone else. This is it. This is the
Yeah,
thing.
he doesn't want any other
His
options. That's that in reverse. I don't want any other options.
masculine's biggest fear right now is admitting to himself that this is it. This is the feminine I want. And he has to accept. He cannot accept this. This is the feminine I want. I will never have control over her. I will never have
No one will.
I will
No
never
one will.
control over this manifestation of feminine. And so help me God, I want to literally, she's driving me crazy. She's triggering the hell out of me. And oh dear God, the thing I will not admit, masculine's really saying to himself, and the reason he's gone silent, he's like, this is exactly what I want. She's perfect. She's perfect. Perfect. Not acting like it, is he? Is this how you act to someone who's perfect? Masculine doesn't want to come in and admit it. That's what's happening right now.
I love it.
Okay, what's bottom of the deck over there?
Oh, well, I'm going to show you that it's the Eight of Wands in the one hand, and in the other hand, it's the Emperor. And it's the Emperor from the deck where the Empress is from, where we have this dynamic, which this is the power bitch, right? And this is Arthur. And do you know about Arthur? Because Guinevere loved Lancelot, and Arthur was like, I don't care. I don't care. You're going to be mine. And then she was. And he had all the control. So literally, Divine Feminine is fucking giving the masculine all of the power by awaiting his communication. He's literally now in that role that Arthur is in, which is he eliminates all of Divine Feminine's other options because she is feeling just like that in the mirrored way that there's no other option, even though she holds all the power. All of the power. It literally is just a freaking power struggle, like you said. And it's between two very controlling sides of self. And you want to know why they're controlling? I'll say it again for the crowds, for the people in the back. Because y'all are both insecure. And all you want is to feel very secure. And you won't feel secure until you feel secure in yourself. And as long as you're seeking that outside validation from this other person, you shall feel insecure because you can't get security from outside of self no matter how hard you try. And you want to know the proof of that? You've been trying so hard for so long and it's not working. But that's okay because that's what we're all here together to learn to do.
This is the vibe.
And we
Gonna
can do.
accept the vibe. I'm not liking the vibe, but we're just gonna accept it.
We're accepting it. We hold the power.
Okay.
I lost the cards.
I do like that. I do like that message. But I mean, that's the thing. Here's the
You
thing.
didn't.
But here's the thing, though, right? And this is where they're mirroring each other, which is like
It is,
feminine.
and you know what? The top of the
Feminine,
deck was the Queen of Coins, just like
feminine is sitting on the other side, trying to act pretty, being like, "Why are you so obsessed with control?" Refusing to accept the fact that the reason masculine is so obsessed with control is because she has all the control right now, and she's being greedy about it. I think feminine needs to
I'm
ask,
eating bonbons.
is she treating this manifestation like masculine, like he's a true partner? Because it's a two-way street. Like I'm actually going to say
Yep.
that feminine. I mean, look, feminine. We need to come to terms with this. If masculine is in this energy, he didn't come to this energy by accident. Somebody's moved him into this spot. I'm not saying feminine did it intentionally, but I'm saying that feminine does need to accept some level of accountability for them, for masculine and feminine energy being what they are. Everybody needs to accept accountability. Nobody's to blame, but there needs to be accountability spread across everyone. Nobody has made good decisions.
Nobody's to blame. Everybody's to blame.
Nobody has made good decisions today. Masculine and feminine energy, you both get a timeout. That's what I'm doing. I'm putting masculine
You both get a timeout.
in timeout. It's just really like, he pulled my hair. No, he stepped on my foot. No, she did this. Like, that is what we're seeing right now with masculine and feminine.
It is, and everyone is justified, and y'all need to shut up.
Yeah, and feminine's going, he's not talking to me. He wouldn't stop talking to me, and now he's not talking to me. And he's like, I don't know who's talking. You hear somebody? I can't hear anybody. There's nobody there. And feminine's being like, he's so stupid. I hate him. That's exact. That is what this energy.
True and true.
And I have to say, it's not really fair to do to me and Pearl to have to sit here and play teacher to this energy because it's very exhausting and everybody's acting like
No,
a
it
god
is,
darn
and I better
child.
get more bonbons and more
This
rewards for it than I do.
this retrograde, that's what oh my god, Pearl, that's what happened to this retrograde. This retrograde literally reversed everybody back into childhood. Everyone is acting like their worst childhood selves. It is
I
freaking.
live in my childhood bedroom.
I
I'll
love you say
scream
it. I love
"fuck
how you
you"
say
to
that, and
my
you're wearing.
mom.
You're like literally wearing a pony. You don't even realize you just channeled. You just put
I
yourself.
know I'm in my childhood
You just put
bedroom.
no. You just put your like self in a little '80s ponytail too. You're like, yeah,
I know I did.
we're all being triggered. We whatever this retrograde was, literally just like reverted us back to children. We're all acting like we did when we were 9. All right, advice for masculine. We got to get
I
out.
hated it so much.
I hate it too. I hate it too. But honestly, like, look, the thing I always say this: the reason retrogrades make us grow is because it brings up things that we didn't heal. And what else did we not heal? And why was this retrograde so difficult? It's because it triggered the hell out of us because it's opening up childhood wounds. I hate
Oh
this. I
God, I'm
hate this
done.
season
I'm
of the
done. I'm out. I'm out.
I hate this season of the show. I hate this season of the show. Worst season ever. Okay. Oh my God. All right. So please give me some advice for masculine. Give me some advice for masculine that's not going to make me want to puke. Okay, here it is. We got our 3 cards. All right. The first one. Okay. Masculine, baby. Masculine. Do you understand? Do you understand that you don't need to have a power struggle with your feminine? If if you just did what Pearl just said, if you just did what Pearl just said, baby, there's no power struggle. This feminine is trying to choose you. What more validation do you need? Instead of being so anxious about feminine not choosing you, why don't you sit in a place of deep gratitude and understand that there is no fight with feminine because you have feminine and you've got everything feminine wants so long as you stop acting like a controlling jerk about it. Don't try to control the feminine. You don't need to control the feminine. Just be that supportive architecture for feminine, and you will suddenly realize that you have everything you need. This is the journey for you. It is understanding that you do not have to have a power struggle with feminine. And the way you show off to feminine is not by putting on a fancy suit, even though you're feeling emotionally empty and looking really nice around other people. It's not by having a lot of coin in the bank and feeling very like daddy warbucks, like you have all of this money. It is by being emotionally responsible for yourself. It is by being able to sit and hold all of these cups for feminine, for being a source of support and being able to show that you will always be there in a supportive environment. That's all you got to do. You don't have to do all of this. Whatever this is not what you need to do. This is how you fix this. This is what will get you to a place where everyone will be happy and where you will be happy because you're going to be sitting in a place of gratitude for what you have. I'm going to say it again. Masculine needs to sit and start meditating on gratitude for what they have and what you have instead of the constant desire for more and more and more. more control over feminine, more money, more popularity. No, 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 no. Sit, see what you have, because all of this could disappear in a heartbeat if you are not grateful for it. That's what came up top right. The other two covered up. These are the things under that that need to be addressed. Because what you fail to recognize is that this feminine was completely under your control. Feminine would always be under your control if she felt that you would make a choice. And what's really happening is because of this constant ambition, this constant almost like greed, that this is what it's being interpreted by feminine as, this constant unyielding, unflagging need for more and more and more. Then what's really happening is feminine sees that as masculine not choosing feminine. Masculine wants control over feminine, but feminine's not going to give this masculine control because she sees that this masculine is not choosing feminine. He just wants control over feminine. And this is the barrier that is being created, that feminine is actually creating in all of this, that's causing this separation point between them, because masculine is not coming forward. This is the actual offer that feminine needs. Feminine needs, doesn't need the fancy things, doesn't need the money, doesn't need the popularity. Feminine just needs someone saying, I'm here for you. We saw it in the feminine reading last week. I'm here for you. I am in it with you. We are together. And because of that, the only reason feminine is making masculine feel like she's not choosing him is because feminine is reflecting him and saying, like, I'm not committing myself entirely to someone who is not making a choice. So feminine is sitting in a place where she's like, no, I'm not making a choice either. There's so much reflection happening. But this is
Oh my God.
could fix it. This is how masculine could fix it.
The channel song I sang on the Divine Feminine Message today was I Know by Fiona Apple. And there's this part in the song when she's like pissed. It's like at the bridge and she's like, baby, I can't help you out while she's still around. And the tude of that part of the song, which is like, I'm here at the backstage door, but I can't help you out while she's still around, right? Like, no.
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 And this last one here just shakes me to my core, because what did I see when I did the drawing for feminine last week? We saw that all of this behavior on masculine's part, this manifestation of masculine, has her in an empress reverse mentality. And we said, and I just literally pulled it before we did this. I said, why is feminine feeling reversed empress? Because masculine is forcing her into a place where she's constantly has to defend herself, and she can't get close to masculine. She doesn't want to be. She was going into a page of swords where she was forced to do something she doesn't like to do and be adversarial where she doesn't want to be. And she was feeling wounded from it. Masculine, I'm going to say it again if you didn't hear it when I did it for the feminine. Feminine doesn't want to fight with you. Feminine wants to be the empress. If you want feminine to be the source of all of your love, of all of your affection, if you want all of those good things that come from having an empress, you need to choose the empress, and you need to treat the empress like an empress deserves to be treated. If you are not getting that empress energy, then it is because you are not treating that feminine as such. And that also means that you need to start to nurture and cultivate the feminine within yourself. Because really, the way you treat feminine speaks volumes for how you feel about yourself and your own feminine energy, even more than it does how you're actually treating this manifestation of feminine. This is why
Exactly.
your healing path comes through feminine. Your healing comes through how you treat the feminine in your life. Are you honoring that feminine, or are you trying to control an empress? Are you trying to control a dragon? How do you control a dragon? Do you grab a dragon and you pull its reins and say, now you're mine? No. Have you ever seen the dragon riders on the Game of Thrones? They get on that thing and they get it to go anywhere they want because the dragon loves its rider. The dragon loves its rider. How do you control the empress? You let the empress love you and you love her back in return. And then the empress, you will have full damn control over the empress because she
Yeah.
really do anything you ask of her by allowing her to be in her nature. Bottom of the deck.
Oh,
I'm exhausted.
God damn.
I know. That was a beautiful message, masculine. Please
It
absorb it.
was.
Bottom of the deck. Ah! This is my point, masculine. You're going around to the whole world trying to show that you're a king of pentacles. Are you a king of pentacles? Because a king of pentacles is not someone who makes a lot of money. The king of pentacles is someone who creates a stable environment. And it doesn't matter how much money you generate, you will lose it all if your own stability, if your own mindset is not one that creates a solid, firm foundation. And what you have to
Yep.
accept is the reason that so much of this is happening right now between you and feminine is because to the rest of the world, you're like, look at me, look how good I'm doing, look how stable I am. But feminine is seeing into your heart right now. And you're afraid that she sees the fact that a lot of the things that are going wrong in your life are because you are lacking this stability. And feminine needs someone who is going to be a rock, who's going to be stable. And you're scared to admit that what's really happening right now is that feminine is terrified of you because all of this behavior, all of this controlling, all this ignoring, all this I'm the one you listen to, you do what I say, what that's really showing to feminine, and you kind of recognize it, is that she's scared that you're not someone she can build something firm around because you yourself are not being steadfast and firm and reliable and dependable and trustworthy. This is the journey. It's a rough one. It's a hard lesson.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm
Damn.
gonna go take a bath after
The
this.
tea is hot today from
I'm
over
gonna go
here
take a
from the beautiful
bath.
gray.
Cleanse or something. Okay, go
All
for it.
right.
Yeah, just do the feminine. I can't.
Buckle up, divine feminine.
I feel ew, I feel ill. Ew.
Well, we have for the divine feminine the Three of Swords, and it's one of the most accurate depictions of the Three of Swords in the way that it feels, like the heartache. The first time that I really experienced that twinge when I had lost a loved one, it shocked me that your heart actually does squeeze or compress, like from grief. Like there's a feeling in the physical heart, and there's been a lot of wounding here, and it's really more that there are these original wounds that are not so fun to look at from your closest family members growing up, and we kind of just we get them sort of fixed up, sort of enough for us to function, kind of, we go do our thing, and then every time we come into alignment with someone that's like a perfect match for that old wound, it's going to open it right up again because we didn't properly tend to it in the first place, and we just kind of did a bang up job. We're like, some super glue should do it. Like, we didn't value ourselves enough to go to the hospital, make sure we had the best surgeon who could give us no scars. We couldn't create that, so we just did what we could, like, you know tape and glue and just suck it up. And there comes a time when we finally stopped doing that, and we went really deep into the pain, And we figured it out, and we found the places where our wounding resided. And then what happened is we became incredibly compassionate and empathetic. And we saw other people who were victims of these same wounds, and we welcomed them because we understood them and we knew no one else would. And we hoped that someone would have the same awareness of us and give us the same room for our wounds that we carried. It was like our way of ensuring our safety in the future by like tending to all the broken birds, you know, because our wings felt broken, but we weren't though. And like we had healed those things and we no longer needed to have the experiences over and over and over again. But we just, it's like we couldn't believe that we were healed. And I think that that's really what's been the hardest thing, is that we can think differently about ourselves now. We can choose different partnerships, but we still might believe that if we do that, we are abandoning that part of the self that was like the way your person is now, right? If we turn our backs on that version of our person, then that's like turning our back on that version of ourselves in a way, right? Like who would have, somebody's got to stick by that person. Somebody's got to do it. But who did when that was you? Who did stick by you? It was you, bro. It was your higher self. It was this person right here today, me reading the card. This version of myself is the only part, the only counterpart that was there for me when I was here. And it is not your job to physically be that part for your person anymore. They have to have the same experience.
Ugh,
So let them be wounded so they can heal. Ugh.
I hate that.
You did it already. How do I know? Because of this card, the Four of Wands upright.
Yeah.
So you're in alignment. That's why it feels so weird that this person is not. And you're not abandoning them when you choose yourself. You're showing them what you need to do to heal. And then they will do the same thing. And if they don't choose you, it's because they can't, because you're with someone else and you don't need them. And so you can't lose. That's why you can celebrate. And the advice here is to look for reasons to celebrate. The same advice coming out for the masculine, to look around and appreciate. This is the same thing. Look for reasons to celebrate instead of for reasons to be worried or afraid or concerned. There, yes, those things exist, and I don't want to shut those things out. I don't want to not have an emergency kit when you live in an earthquake prone area because you're an eternal optimist. Like, just have an emergency kit. But then look around and find reasons to celebrate, because there are reasons. And the final outcome is the Knight of Swords running to the Six of Wands, where the feminine stands alone in the spotlight, victorious. And the masculine has got to jump on this bike and catch up with her because she is literally light years ahead. You can see. And there's this nice return to the wands energy, to your passion, to your what lights you up, what makes you feel creative, the foundation of who you are, your authentic self. We're right back there in this last bit of advice. If you want to see success, then go into your heart, ask yourself, what do you want to do? That's not about someone else. What do you want to do? What do you, just for you? And do that thing. For me, that's sing. So that's what I'm doing. I'm singing. You can hear me now 6 days a week singing on my account in some form. Like, just run, you as your own masculine, run towards whatever makes you feel successful, whatever you know you should be showing to others and sharing with others. And I saw a beautiful post today by a Divine Lover who's one of my friends, and she said something so profound, and it was basically that a lot of times when we start our journey to awakening, we tend to feel that we need to heal other people as our profession, and so we kind of go through that, and then we don't acknowledge that our passion, music, writing, dance, that is what heals people on a much grander scale than just doing these individual readings or healing sessions with one-on-one. And that's just a natural progression that you're going to start to sort of gravitate from, this type of work into whatever your true passion is, and then you'll hit many more individuals outside of these smaller collectives by going into what you're really called to do since you were a child. And so I thought it was a beautiful post on her part, and I totally resonate with that. And I think, don't you, that's so true? Like, you first go through this and you're like, oh, I'm meant to heal people, because that's another way of avoiding what your passion is, right?
You know what's crazy about that, Pearl? You want to know like the other hot take from you saying that shakes me? I think that it's also the opposite. I think it goes
Hmm.
both ways. I think that some people, they go in to heal and they find that their art is more healing. I never signed up to be a healer. I never, if you would ever
Yeah.
my whole life, there'd be like, what do you want to do? I would have been like, I want to heal people.
Nope.
I realized through my art that my art was actually an act of healing for others. And that actually
Yes.
my art was me manifesting healing, but in a way that I was not ready to accept that I was a healer, because
Yes.
how could someone, and I think that that's the way that art is often a path to kind of that deeper chiron, because often I think a lot of artists are saying, I am wounded. I am wounded. What does art do but heal? An artist says, I am wounded. Let me show you my wound. So they start to do their art. And as they do their art, what starts to happen? They start to heal their wound. And then others reach out and say, I saw you healing your wound and it healed my wound. And then suddenly the artist realizes that all this time they thought that they were just showing the world their wound, but what they were actually doing was creating this beautiful healing moment for themselves. And then they discover this path where they're like, my art is not a selfish act. My art heals people. And that's what drove the connection to other people and the ability to take our pain and transmute it into something that is healing is the most divine act that we can do.
I had, I've told the story before that when I had my vision of Raphael, what he said to me was that I would be a healer. And I was like 18 or 19 at the time. And I said, I don't want to be a healer. And he said, it doesn't matter what you want.
What? That's a very
And because in my mind, I was envisioning, nursing or something. And
exactly.
then to
Exactly.
realize that the
I don't
music that I do is, when people hear my voice, they were always like, it like shakes them or something. They tell me that it'll be like, I guess I get like raw and emotional, all
mm-hmm.
are the commonly thing. And so there's something about feeling someone else having gone through that, and now they wrote a song about it. They're like, well, obviously you survived it. So it's like it's inherent, it's like implicit in the song itself existing and being performed that you have overcome it. You basically now have control over it, right? In this way.
Beautifully said.
So it's an interesting experience. And then when you sing someone else's words who has done that, you also, like you said, then you heal that wound for yourself too, and on and on.
Beautiful path.
Cool. So go do your passions.
Yes.
Run, don't walk,
I'm actually really
to
glad.
get the information you need.
Honestly, given the fact that this was like, I feel like a very rough week of readings for masculine and feminine, I feel like that was a very good note to end it on. Which again, we're going to get.
It
I feel
was.
like the reason this feels so raw and dirty right now on both sides is because
Oh,
it's incredibly triggering, which means the opportunity to heal is so very there.
it's true.
Yep.
The bottom of the deck also, it's the strength card.
Yeah,
And it's the balance, you know, the perfect balance.
that's it.
So that that's it. That's all she wrote.
Well, as always, Pearl, it is a blessing and a gift to be able to do this with you. Everyone who's on my side, thank you so much for joining. Please be sure to go follow Pearl over on her site, Pearl's Prayers. Do you want to let everyone know how they can book a private reading through you?
Yes, absolutely. First, let me say, Naomi, already your reading is next after I close out this collab. But if you would like for me to read personally for you right now, you can click the link in my profile, Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App, $33, and I'll do an in depth reading for you. I probably have maybe one or two more in me after this one. But for the rest of you that would like to book privately, the same link is going to take you to a page that's going to have booking information. You can see my music there. It's on all the streaming services, and links are there for you. There's also, if you want to become a member, you can see some of the content I put out each week for members and the part twos of readings that I do, the Tell Me Everything readings that I do. It is $5.55, and there's a link for that. And thank you to everybody who has recently become a member. It is definitely helping just to have that little bit goes a long way. So thank you very, very much. And if you want to see me again, I'm doing a special event tomorrow night. I think it's at 7, but there's a link in my profile to check the time. When you go, it'll say a live event. I think it's at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. But it's going to be a self-care evening. I'm debuting a spread. I'm going to pull some cards for people that are participating. And if you've pre-registered, you will have priority. So head over to that event if you are interested tomorrow night, and that would be Eastern Standard Time. And make sure you're following the lovely Grace Strega, who I've been reading with for how many years? It's been 2 years,
It's crazy.
two and a
It's
half years.
been a ride. It's been a
I
beautiful
know,
ride.
it's crazy.
Well,
It has been.
thank you so much as always,
Thank
guys. Please
you.
be sure to follow Pearl and her events. And if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can find that at my website, graystrega.com. Thank you guys so much. I hope you have a beautiful afternoon, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye, Gray. Love ya.
Ditto.